Up until recently, when some of my clients who are using Notion for task management, project management, would ask me, how do we track time in Notion? I would usually advise them to use a third-party app and connect that with Notion through an integration and track time in an app like Clockify or something similar to that. Why? Because if you would do it in Notion directly, in the past, it was kind of fiddly. It wasn't the best user experience at all. Now, if somebody would ask me, how do we track time in Notion? I would say, let me show you how. You can do it directly in Notion with the use of some database automations and formulas, and the user experience now is much better than it used to be. So let me show you how that works. We are now in Notion, and I'll show you how you can track time directly in Notion on your tasks or projects or clients' databases. For an example here, I have a tasks database where I will show you how to track time on a single task, but the same setup can also be applied to a projects database or a client's database or any other database where you actually need to track your time. So this is an example, and let's just say that we would like to start tracking time on a task number 4. So this is the task number 4 here, and all I need to do to start tracking time is click on this little button, Start Now. So let's do this now. Start now. Next, what happens is I get a confirmation message just to make sure that I didn't click on this accidentally. So I will confirm that, yes, I really do want to start tracking time now. Now what has happened, we have started the timer. We have started the timer, and you can see this here, that the timer is actually running. And it tells you for what task it is running, who started it, when, and it also gives you the option to stop it. So if I would like to stop the timer now, let's say that I'm finished with the task, then all I have to do is just click on Stop Now. There's also the confirmation message and continue, and that's it. Now, the time between start and stop has been recorded in my Notion, and it has automatically been added to the total time spent on working on this task here. How this actually works. So here's an explanation of the setup. Basically, what you need is 2 databases. One is the main database where you're actually tracking time. Here in my example, this is a tasks database. It can also be a projects database or any other type of databases where you need to track time. Then the second database that is related to the first one is the time entries database, this one. Now, in this time entries database, why do we need this? We need it because every time we start tracking time, we are actually creating a new page in this time entries database. And this page has information on when did we start tracking time, when did we end tracking time, and what did we track it for? So for what task this is related to, or what project or anything else, and who actually started it, who was doing the work. So this is the information that we need in this second database, and it is all connected to the original tasks database, and then we get the information inside of our tasks database on how much time we spent on a single task. So for this to work, what is needed is some automation and some formulas. So for the automation part, we have the start timer button here in the tasks database. What this does is it actually creates a new page in the time entries database. It sets the start time. It creates a relation to our task. It also provides information on who is actually tracking this time, and it changes the status of our task to in progress. So let's see how this actually works once again. Let's say that we would like to start tracking time now on task number 5. As you can see, it has no time tracked so far. It's in status not started. So when I click here on Start Now, I am triggering this automation to start tracking time. You can see that automatically the status changed to in progress. Timer status is now running. Also, what happened is here in the second database, in the time entries database, a new page, this one, has automatically been created, and it has a name, it has information on who created it, what task it is related to, and when did we start tracking time. It also has the timer status, and we can stop the timer here once we are finished with our work. And you can also see it here in this view for where I just created one view to show all the timers that are currently running. So this is the time entry in our time entries database. And what happens when I click on this automation button, Stop Now, automatically an end time is applied, and we have a total of 1 minute worked on this task that is being added to the total time worked on this task for this on this task here. So if you would like to see how many times you worked on a single task, you can do that as well. So if you just open one task here, you have all the time entries inside of this task. So every time that we started working on this task, it is shown here, and you have all the details inside of the page of the single task. Also, what is available in this setup are reports. So as you have some of the reporting here inside of the database, so you can see how much time you have spent in total per task. But if that is not enough, if you would like to see more detailed report in general on what you have been spending your time, then you can create reports like this here. Here we have reports. So for example, you can create different types of reports by using Notion charts, but here just as an example, here we have one total view of total time spent this week on different tasks and how much of it was it spent on a single task. Then we have one report for this month by person, so you can see for each of the individuals in your team how much time they spent working on tasks this month and what task they have been working on. Also, you can have a report that is displayed by day and by task, or by task and by person. It really depends on what you would like to see, so you can create your own reports by playing a little bit with the filters, with the setup, and how you would like to display this information. So basically, this is it. It's a really simple thing. You just start the timer, you stop the timer, time is automatically added up to your task. You can see the details of all of your time entries. You can also see if you have a timer running currently. So here I just started one, it is displayed here. And in the background, the automation and the formulas are doing everything for you, so you don't have to do anything manually, basically. You don't have to add time manually. If you, for example, if you forget to turn off a timer And this is something that happens no matter what time tracking software you're using. People sometimes forget to turn off the timer, even though they stopped working on a task. So if this happens, you can still correct your time entry. So you can just, I'll stop this one now. And let's say that I forgot to stop the timer on this task, and it was running for a couple of hours, and the total minutes are really above anything that is realistic. What I can do, that I can just manually edit the end time to an actual time when I stopped working on this task, and I can create a correction like that. So that's it. If you would like to know more, if you would like me to help you create this kind of a setup in your own Notion workspace, let me know. I will be happy to help you further. Thank you and goodbye.